Hey guys, Joe from Hunter's Handbook here. Today we're doing a video that you most requested. So we took a poll on huntershandbook.com asking you guys what you wanted to see. Overwhelming majority wanted to see how to change sights on a Glock. This is a Glock 17 Gen 4. We got pretty much everything that we needed to get online. For the tools, we got them from Amazon. This is a universal rear sight pusher, and this is a Glock front sight tool. Okay? And for our sights today, our good friends over at HiViz hooked us up with these Glock target sights. So these are awesome fiber optic sights. We're going to get those installed today. Now, before we get started, you always want to have safety first, okay? Number one reason that there's accidental discharges is during maintenance or takedown of the gun's loaded, and there's an accidental discharge. Obviously, you don't want to shoot your gun unless you intend to do it. So, you're going to drop the mag first, rack the slide back, and make sure that your chamber is empty before doing anything else, okay? And that you're firing in a safe direction. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, so the first step is to take down the pistol. Like I was saying just before this, you want to make sure that firearm is empty. You can never be too safe. Alright, chamber is clear, magazine's dropped, fired in a safe direction. Now we're going to do the standard Glock takedown. Quickest way to do that is take your right hand, place it over the top of the slide here, grip down on the slide. And then with your thumb, just slightly depress the back until you hear that little click. And then you've got tabs on both sides here. Going to pull down on that. And you have your upper and lower assembly here. Okay, so next thing, you want to take out the recoil spring and the guide rod. Pretty simple enough. And then remove the barrel there. Now, we've got your slide just as it needs to be before we pop the sights off it, put the new ones on. First thing we're going to do is remove the front sight. This is the HiViz setup here for the Glock target sights. You've got extra light pipes here that you can pop out, and you can use this little light pipe tool to switch those out. We're going to stick with a stock lime green front and infrared rear sight. Okay? So first things first, take off the front sight. You're going to need your Glock front sight tool. There is a little hex screw down here that you need to unscrew. Drop that out. Pull the front sight off, and your front sight is off. Next, we're going to install the front sight. Pretty much the same steps, just in reverse. We're going to remove that, have that sitting up like so, place it in the notch there. Make sure you have it on right, otherwise it's going to look pretty funky. And voila! Installed Glock front sight. Alright, so next step is we're going to remove the stock Glock rear sight. Say that 3 times fast. We've got a universal sight pusher tool here. I bought a universal one, not a standard Glock one, because I have other guns that I want to change the sights out on. Alright, so first off, you're going to want to make sure that this is centered, and you're going to need to size up the Glock frame. Okay? Now the rear sight pushing tool, that needs to be towards the rear. So your muzzle needs to be facing this way. Alright? Here is an arrow to tell you where it should be facing. It's pretty simple enough. So this is how it should be set up to remove the rear sight. You can do it a little bit quicker with a brass punch, but for beginners, I wouldn't recommend that just because you want to make sure you don't scratch the finish off of your slide. So, muzzle forward, like it says here. Okay, you can place this in a vice grip, but it's actually pretty easy to remove the rear sight since it's just polymer. So all you're going to do is just crank, And keep spinning until the rear sight is pushed off. Voila! Last but not least, we're going to install this rear sight into the Glock frame. So you just line it up with the dovetail notch, like so, and then we're going to start cranking it over into place. So it takes a little bit of muscle to be able to do that. If you don't have a vise block, this is probably the easiest thing to do. Just grab it like so, and then twist till it's in place. And we've got our fully assembled new sights installed. Let's take it out of here and see how it looks. Now that we've got our fancy schmancy new high-vis sights on there, we're going to reassemble the pistol. So, flip the slide upside down. Place barrel back in like so. There's a little notch down here. That's where this metal piece of the guide rod is going to go. Just push that in, make sure it sets down in there. Make sure it's empty and safe. And that is Glock 17 with high-vis sights on there. Alright, ladies and gents, we have our fully assembled Glock 17 Gen 4 with high-vis sights. Ooh, look at those sights. These things are awesome. Not only are they great for carry, but they're awesome for competition. I got a set of these same Glock target sights on my Glock 34 that I use for indoor IDPA and USPSA shooting. We want to give high-vis some thanks. Shout them out. Their website is highvissights.com. That's HIVIZSIGHTS.com. And we want to show thanks and support for you guys that are showing us support on Facebook. Thanks for taking part in that poll. Also, thank you guys so much for subscribing to our newsletter. We greatly appreciate it. All right, so for more sights and sounds, head to huntershandbook.com for more videos like this one.